back to our channel. We miss y'all, and we hope that y'all have missed us. Thank you for coming back. It is Tigro, Tracy, Adrian, Denise, and we are
Wife Life Tribe.
Doing life.
Wives and friends, and apparently with husbands involved.
Let's talk about this thing that I watched last night. So I was up to 1:30 in the morning. Y'all know I'm an early bird. That's why I'm sleepy now. And I almost didn't make it to this doggone podcast recording because I'm sleepy because I was up to 1 o'clock watching this thing called Blind Dates on TikTok. It was the best thing I've seen all week.
This sounds like a train wreck.
It was amazing. So I'm not here to talk about the blind date part, but I'm going to give y'all a scenario. So there's a young lady. She is the host. She is hilarious. Her name is Shannon, but I don't know what the name of her page is because I don't follow it because you can only subscribe when you click. And I don't have $5.99 a month because I'm already paying $57.99 a month for some milk. So I don't have $5.99 to get that. So she has this game show where she calls people up and she's like, hey, are you looking for love? So if you're looking for love, you can come up and then we will give you a blind date. So the person comes up, explains who they are. Then the person of the opposite gender comes up and there's 3 contestants. And the first contestant, the person who is the datee, I don't know what they are, they blindfold themselves and they have to ask questions to the young ladies or to the young men. It is hilarious because she has commentary that's really one-offs, and y'all know that's my kind of comedy. So she is one-offing these people over and over again, and the comments are going crazy. But one thing that I noticed is that people do not sell themselves well. And that's what I want to talk about today. People not being able to tell the best parts of them or not being able to express who they are. So the biggest question that the most mind-blowing question was for me, and this is a very minor question. What do you have to offer to a relationship? 4 people said, me. I don't know you. That is not an answer. And it drove me insane. I was like, that is not an answer. He don't even know you. What are you doing? Y'all, when I say I was all in,
That's
I
that
hope
teacher.
people on there. I hope the people on there don't know who I am, where I work, or nothing, because I'm probably gonna lose my job.
Interesting though, because now we are in a day and age where we hide. I'm using that term here, behind our phones and computers. So to truly have a conversation with someone and kind of sell yourself to the person is not something a lot of, especially the younger generation, are used to. They're used to emojis and all of that, but to sit in front of you face to face and tell you about myself, do they even do, they may do it eventually, but it's after we've talked and text over the phone. So, ooh, that's tough. I mean, I feel like I could do it. But a lot of, what were the age range? What was the age range?
So, okay, so I'm gonna say I was a little offended by the age ranges. They started off, I would say, about 23, and the oldest lady that was on there was about 54. So it was kind of it ran the gamut. But they would call up and then you can choose if you want to come up with that person. So it wasn't like a 20-year-old and a 50-year-old coming up at the same time. But I was getting offended because she was like, when the lady who was 54 came up, she was like, we're going to have mature night. We're going to have mature night on Wednesday nights. So make sure you come up on mature night. And she was like, okay, what's the age range for Wednesday night? This heifer said 40. 40 ain't mature.
Because we already established that I'm childish.
You don't have to reference.
I was like, she could at least say 47. 48 to 65 is mature, ma'am. I'm 43. Actually, I think I might be 42.
You saw my husband.
You're not 43 yet.
I'm 40.
It's coming.
I'm 42.
Yes, you are.
Okay, I'm 42. I'm not mature. I'm a middle school boy. Let's just be honest.
The way I read around here, I feel like I'm a 16-year-old girl for sure. Like,
No,
not today.
you're only as
Not
old
today.
as you feel. And I identify. No, I'm just kidding.
I don't know, because sometimes
Girl,
I
I'm
was
glad you said that.
at this concert and I was surrounded by young people, and I was like, I'm mature. I am mature because these babies.
I think it might be I'm immature around my age.
Oh,
I
yeah.
told you, I'm childish. It's been established. I'm okay with it. I like
Betty,
What'd you say, Adrian?
I said Petty Betty. You be like, grow up.
keep it young and fresh.
So let me ask y'all this. So what do you think would have been an answer? Not that we're trying to pretend as though we're single, but if you had to talk to a person that was younger than you and they asked you to tell them, what should I say if someone asks me what I bring to a relationship? What do you think would be like the top three? The top three things they should talk about?
So, sorry, go ahead, Adrian. No, go.
The first thing that popped up in my head is I would tell them to look at it as a job interview, so to speak. If you're trying to sell yourself, I'm a communicator. I value communication. If there's an issue, if I've done something, if you need something, communicate that to me. When I love hard, because I need you to know I'm not in this to play games. So if you in here to play games and go about your business, because I don't have time. So I'm a communicator. I love hard, and I value family. So I'm family oriented. You're going to see my family together a lot. We do a lot of things together. So if that's not your vibe, this may not work. And we're going to cut up. So don't be offended.
That is
Don't
not
be a
a
good
job
time.
interview, but that's great. I love it.
What
That
you
sounds
say,
great.
Izzy?
That
That is
sounds
not
great.
Job interview, but I love it. that was perfect. That is who you
That
are.
was perfect.
That was perfect. I love that.
Right.
Adrian, I think about the character traits and personality. Those are the things that I will go to. Like for me personally, the thing that I'm most proud of about myself is my resilience. I've been through a lot, and that's important in a relationship, because a resilient person, if you're with somebody who's resilient emotionally, you don't have to worry about holding them up. And you don't have to feel like you have to be something that you're not. Especially with male and female relationships, as I can only speak of. A lot of guys sometimes feel like if they don't make a certain amount of money, or if they don't have a certain type of job, then that makes them less valuable for, some. But when you are with somebody who's been through some things and they had to figure some things out, their whole demeanor is different. And I think it makes a person feel more comfortable about who they are and what season they're in, wherever that is in life. So I would talk about being resilient, because I want you to know that if we together, I can hold you down. Now I'm be expecting you to hold me down too, because with that comes a certain level of thick skin, and I can't have you falling apart at the moment of every little problem in life, because life be life.
Life, feel it.
I would talk about, like I said, I'm childish, not in a for real childish way, but like I love to laugh. Like I love humor. I like Tracy. One thing we have in common, like we like dark, inappropriate humor. So I'm gonna need you to not take yourself too serious. You already said it. Don't take yourself too serious, because I don't take myself too serious. I don't want nobody that's stuffy and uptight. Like I want us to be able to laugh and joke on each other, joke with each other, maybe prank each other, and it'd be okay. And you not, blow up on me because I'm being too silly. And then, like Adrian said, family is one of the things for me, a little more detailed along with family up under that umbrella. Memories are important to me. So I want to be with somebody who is going to enjoy doing things. I'm okay with a homebody because a big part of me is a homebody, but I want to get out and I want to make memories. Y'all know I lost my parents early. That's something that has made me who I am. Because of that, memories are extremely important. So I can't be with somebody who is not going to want to experience life with me. So those would be my 3 things.
Okay.
I love it. Oh,
Y'all gonna have to teach some classes.
baby, registration is open.
Drop the link.
Well, ladies, I'm gonna have to get some classes from you guys because I have never been one to be able to talk about myself very well at all. So I would be the person who would say, I bring enough to the table. Okay. Meaning I can cut the stove on, but you might not like what's on it. I can clean the house, but I will not be doing it by myself. I would rather cut the grass than wash the dishes.
Hey.
So,
That's
yeah, but that would be more my that conversation. Like, I don't do a lot of great things, but I do some things.
Oh,
I think you sell yourself short.
You do,
just
honey.
not domestic, and that's okay.
Absolutely.
And that's the piece that I wanted the people to see. Just because you're not strong in this one area doesn't mean you're not strong. You may not be, y'all. I am not neat. Y'all been in my dorm room. I am not domestic. Like, that is not my thing. It's not. However, you're gonna be happy around here. We're gonna have a good time around here.
Yeah.
I am going to hold you down. You know what I mean? Like, you ain't gonna never have to worry if somebody got your back. And that's something that I can cook, I can clean. I do those things, but I would rather have a housekeeper. You know, I'm not finna cut no grass. But we're talking about what would you tell somebody else to tell. So it's those personality qualities that y'all talked about, those character traits that you talked about, the importance of having family. Like, I am a family oriented person. If somebody's talking to you about who you are and you don't have kids and you want to have kids, and you let them know that you are a family oriented person, you have the desire to have children. It's not about like playing yourself down. It's about playing yourself up. That's what I think Adrian was saying about it being a job interview. You know, you don't go in there and say, well, at times I can be lazy and sometimes I tell my boss no. You don't do that when you go on a job interview. They just find that out over time.
They found it out later. That ass ain't done shit. Not me, yo.
Right. So, you know, just having the ability to be an emotional support, having the ability to just be there for somebody. Some people just need that. Like Toya talked about making those memories with someone. If you meet somebody and you tell them you like to travel and they hate traveling, y'all probably aren't compatible. But if you get that part out early, you guys will get to know each other, how we travel. Because just because you like to travel don't mean we traveling to the same places or like the same things. I would never marry somebody who wants to go to Colorado.
Absolutely not.
Nope. My kids want to go to Colorado. I was like, you have a dad. Go. I'm not going. I know Colorado ain't always cold, but I don't want to take the chance of a cold breeze coming through. I'm good on that. But y'all see what I'm saying? It was just very interesting. But it was.
I agree. You make me think about, like, I shy away from saying like a job interview only because when you think about relationships, I think it's a lot less formal.
Oh yeah.
And but I think you think about what your deal breakers are. And so those are the things that you want to put to the front, right? Because you don't want to be matched with somebody and, you know, they collide with all your deal breakers. But I think that's about it. It comes down to, and I think that with you, Denise, I think when I say you sell yourself short, like you started off with saying, well, I need to take y'all class because I can't really talk about myself, but you can. I think it's just a matter of your perspective, because you can. And I know you can because I know that you are sure about who you are. You're sure about who you are and what your deal breakers are. And you've done a lot of self-discovery. And I think a lot of today's generation, that's the area that they lack in. They haven't done a lot of self-discovery. They don't really know who they are or really what they want.
Oh, I'm just still going off of the fact that at my age, if somebody tried to come talk to me right now, they're going to want me to have the woman role. And I'm letting you know, this woman has no role. This is what I do, and this is what I'm not
But you
going to
see
do.
what you just did? You just did exactly what I said. It's a matter of perspective. You go into the situation thinking you know what the other person wants from you or wants you to say. It's not about that. You are who you are. They either take it or they leave it. If we were single, or even if it didn't have anything to do with relationships, if it was friendship, or if you was looking for another podcast host, like, this is who I am. You take it or you leave it. It's not about what that other person. I think in your head you're trying to predict what they want from you.
Yes.
You flew off, your 3 things about who you are, what you bring to the table.
Gonna be real. Add that to the list. She gonna tell you like it is, and ain't no tea or shade. Boom.
And that's the thing I like about Denise, because when she was saying I wouldn't know what I would say and I don't do this and blah, blah, I thought to myself, when I need to do something in my closet, if I need to put a new shelf on, I ain't calling Adrian, I'm not calling T, I'm calling Denise. If I have a new picture that I want to see if it's gonna fit in this here living room, I'm gonna get on my FaceTime and be like, Denise, look at this. Like, you have your things, honey. It's what it is. It's not what you think they think it should be. That's what T is saying, and that's the misconception people have when they do those blind dates. You gonna, like, y'all, them babies, it was pathetic. I mean, it was so cute. It's like, oh, I like to have fun. Okay, everybody like to have fun, honey. What makes you stand out? Who are you? What is fun for you? Do you like to climb mountains? Because
right. I'm like, are you bungee jumping?
Exactly.
Are you going to
So for the girl who said, when he asked the question, she said me, I was sickened by that, and I wrote a little nice comment that said, girl, he don't know you. The girl who said, I like to have fun, she didn't say anything about, like, I like to laugh, things are funny to me, or anything like that, kind of like what we were talking about earlier. They didn't go into depth. It was just like, you have 1 minute to answer this question, and your answer was me, and you eating chicken wings.
And while he's talking,
that ain't cute.
Blindfolded. He didn't know she was eating chicken wings.
You just hear the smacking.
I knew she was eating chicken wings. Y'all know how I feel about chicken. I don't like chicken, but either way, that had no.
A blind date, and you want to be eating while we're talking.
And I love to eat.
Yeah, it's interesting with this newer generation. Like, what if the power go out and y'all together? What you gonna do? Sit across the room and text him? Like, if you're on a date, even when we're out, there are times where I have to tell my husband, put your phone up so we can chit chat talk. And we get caught up and we're doing this while we're waiting. And it's like, put that up, let's talk. But yeah, it's woo. I can't even think about my child trying to find her significant other, baby, because
my kids are never gonna find them. I cannot see nothing but the top of their head all throughout the day at any time. But I say, could you sweep?
Yeah.
Can you sweep? He's like this.
Cleaning the bathroom, all propped up.
Trying to figure it out. Yeah. No, sir. And then this is where I say, oh, good, my kids are older now. And I say, take that. Oh. And then he'd be like this. Yeah, it's serious now. I had to give you the voice, and you got the words, because you lost your mind. You looking ridiculous. And I'm walking away like this.
I shout out, take a break. Take a break. Like, I ain't heard you say nothing. Haven't heard you move. I know you've been sitting in that bed for 2 hours on that phone. I ain't heard you laugh. Not even a snicker from the, did I just say snicker? How old am I? I didn't even hear you chuckle. What word do people say for laugh now?
Laugh.
Chuckle.
LOL.
I haven't heard you LOL in a while. So what you need to do is get off the phone. Then you want to be up under me. No, because now I'm on my phone.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was very interesting to me. And I made a TikTok about it and put it on my page because I was disgusted.
Yeah. But then it makes me think, and I think we've talked about this, Tracy and I, and maybe T and Denise, how we have to teach our children certain life skills. Like, you're gonna have to be around people. You're gonna have to communicate with one another. You can't hide behind a screen all day. So maybe that's one of those things we need to add to the list: communicating, talking, telling someone about yourself. Even when our kids are looking for jobs, had to go through that. Like, what am I going to say? Okay, so let's go through this role play situation because they don't have those skills. They don't.
Social interaction definitely has its part, and it's really important. It's something that I had to have a conversation with Jaden about because COVID definitely did its number on him because he was already a super homebody. And then staying home that year just put him in a level of comfort almost to an addiction. And he very rarely will get out. And I'm like, you don't want to go hang out with your friends or nothing. Like, he doesn't have any for real consistent and beyond surface level like friendships, past the people he talked to on the computer. And I was trying to tell him, like, especially at your age when you are about to cross over into adulthood, like, that goes back to that self-discovery. That's an important part of your self-discovery. You need to have those social engagements with other actual human beings living and breathing, feeling the emotions you feel, going through real life, where you can have conversations and, you can, maybe y'all are going through the same thing, and y'all can talk to each other about how y'all feel. Or like, the reason why we was talking about it, because when he got in school, I was really excited because I was like, okay, now he's going to be on a college campus. He's going to be in a program where he's going to be surrounded by, all these people that are into animation, just like he is. He can make friends, and they could do their projects and assignments together. Well, what happened was he would go to class. Immediately after class, he leave campus to come back home to get back on the computer. And I was like, you could have, had you taken the time to meet somebody new and get to know somebody, and when you didn't feel like getting your project done, or when you wasn't sure about what the deadline was, you could have had somebody that you could have stayed at the computer lab with, and y'all could have, talk to each other about your projects and traded ideas. And, if it was something you were confused about, I was like, social interaction is very important. And he doesn't see any value in it. So you're right. Like, that computer age of communication, it handicaps them in a way.
It does. I feel like I have been pushing Bryson out, and I forget that he has in him what I have in me. I am a social butterfly. He has always been a social light, a social kid. But I've noticed with the pandemic, again, he like fell back into, I'm just going to be on the computer. I don't really have any friends. You know what I mean? Like that mindset. Well, now he's picked up a group, and I'm coming back out of him. He's like, 4th of July, I'm going to go, and I'm going to go to my friend's house, and they're having a cookout. Last week, I'm going to the mall. I'm going to be there from 12 to 9, and then can you pick me up at 9? And can I stay from 9 until curfew at the house? I said yes. But then I'm thinking about, okay, now I can't say yes to everything because I don't want him to do what I did. I partied to a fault, not in college, in high school, So, boy, did I party to a fault. And then I got to college and I was able to control it a little bit better. I had more control over what I did when I went to class, how I picked my schedule, how I did those things. So I had more control. So it worked out in my favor, but I don't want him to party to a flaw. So that's why he has a job now.
Yeah, I even with that, because I have the way that I comfort myself is I'll say he could be out in the streets, so he could be out in the streets. You know, he in his room. You ain't got to worry about him. You know, like that's how I try to balance the emotion of it, because I'm like, oh my God, go somewhere. Go hang out. You know, go where your friends at? Y'all don't want to go to the movies, go walk around Bridge Street. Like, what we doing? Go out, go get something to eat. But you know, I'd be like, well, he could be out in the streets. You know, I could be, you know, a grandma already. Like he could be, you know, already into smoking weed and, you know, whatever the case, like he's in this room. So that's how I comfort myself. But even that is to a fault. So you're right. Like they seem to dwell in the extremes. Like hot and cold.
Yes. So I'm just going to keep it short. I'm hoping that Bryson going to work really gives him like a little bit more interaction, you know, not necessarily to find friends, but to learn to interact with somebody outside of his mama, his daddy, his stepmom, his stepdaddy, his bonus sister, like y'all on Wednesday nights, you know. So I'm hoping that and then his little friends that he has. So I want him to see the world outside of his bubble. So I'm hoping that him having a job at a place like Chick-fil-A gives him that. Yep. Well, ladies, anybody have anything extra they want to add to that?
Well, this was a good conversation, much needed conversation. So hopefully our listeners can definitely relate if you have children or bonus children, because it's hard. It's definitely hard out here. And we got to educate them or it's going to be a loss. Oh, God.
Yeah, because no. All right, ladies. Thank you, queens and kings, for listening to another great episode. And please remember to subscribe. Also, please share our podcast with your wife life tribe.
All right, guys, we'll see y'all on the next episode.
Peace out.